Your formula to gain confidence: conquer internal barriers. 3. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10. In life, I had many fears. I feared being rejected. I feared losing my job. I even feared doing the right thing or great job at work because I fear people being jealous of me. I still remember vividly how fast my heart was beating when I stepped on a stage to give my first speech in front of an audience, and I almost lost my breath. You may have similar experience, or you are facing some kind of fears right now. You are on the journey to grow to your fullest. Step 2, Conquering Oneself, Series 3. Today, let's discuss how to drive away fears so we gain the power of confidence and grow to our fullest. Fear, a word everyone knows well, penetrates every corner of our lives. Fear steals our peace of mind and happiness, destroys creativity, and leads to chaos. Fear is a demon, and it diminishes our confidence to zero. Fear crushes the spirit and produces a paralyzing effect. Fear stops us growing to our fullest in life, so we have to overcome fears. But how can we do that? To answer the question, we have to know where fear comes from. No matter what kinds of fear we face, they have something in common. First, it's from our mind, feeling of uncertainty when facing unknowns. We doubt our ability to handle the problems alone, but we have no other resources to count on. The antidote to fear is confidence or courage. The challenge is where we get the confidence. Sometimes we can develop the right skills to build it, but many times, we cannot. For example, you may get malicious cancer and no one can heal you, or someone throw an arrow at you behind, etc. We cannot drive fear out by ourselves until we find something stronger or powerful to support us. You cannot lean on yourself to stand up when you are falling from a high place. There must be something beyond you to stop you from falling. So you have to add something extra apart from you in life, and it does not exist because of you. Even when you are not in its presence, it is still there. It must be omnipresent and reachable no matter where you are. It must penetrate your innermost being and far beyond. This kind of power and force can only come from God. You cannot build up your confidence until you accept this eternal power. So believe in God, who can provide you with a spring of strength and love that will never run dry. In Bible, God said, "Fear not," 365 times, one for each day of the year. God does not want his people to live their life with fear, anxiety, and worry, as he knows these lead us to perish. For example, do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10. At one point in my life, I suddenly realized that fear is a sin against God, and that it is the biggest sin I have committed in my life. Why? Whenever I fear, I forget that God is in control, therefore, I sin against him. For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. When we add God in our heart, we have faith in God's power, and thus we gain courage, expressed as God equals greater than faith equals greater than courage. When we have only one self in mind, we remove God from our hearts, doubt and unbelief seep in, giving us more fear, expressed as self equals greater than doubt equals greater than fear. The stronger faith we have in God, the less doubtful we become. The more courage we have, the less fearful we become. When doubt and fear shrink to zero, we unlock infinite confidence. Our life is a result of being one with God. The more we become God-centered, the more value we create. Confidence equals faith, doubt. Value, life, equals God, self. God desires us to live a life with unlimited and infinite abundance. He has called us to live our lives to the fullest. When we ignore God's power and abundance, we let fear and doubt reign in life. Fear is like a shadow, and it occurs as a result of light shining on an object. When the light breaks through, the darkness has no place, but the shadow of the obstacle still exists. The shadow of an object is the proof that light is nearby. We should learn to seek the light and focus on it instead of fearing the shadow. The light is the Lord Jesus, and he wants to be our faithful partner in life. Rejecting and ignoring him leaves an open door for fear to come in. Fear is a sin against God. In Bible, the story about 12 spies, Numbers 13:14, tells us how unbelief is such a great sin to God. After Moses brought the Israelites out of Egypt with all the miracles and powers God gave them, they were going to enter the promised land, Canaan. Before entering, Moses sent 12 leaders of 12 tribes of Israelites to scout out the land. After they stayed there for 40 days, they brought the reports to Moses. However, everyone feared the people living there except for Caleb and Joshua because people in the land were tall and strong comparing to Israelites. When God saw their fears, lack of belief in him and his power, his anger burned against them and told them that all the men 20 years old and older could not enter into the promised land due to their lack of faith in him. They would all wander in the desert for the next 40 years until they all eventually died. As for Caleb and Joshua, God said, "But because my servant Caleb has a different spirit and follows me wholeheartedly, I will bring him into the land he went to, and his descendants will inherit it." Numbers chapter 14 verse 24. The story clearly tells us that unbelief and subtracting God from our life is sin. The sin brings us fear in life, crushes our spirit, and leads us to death. What kind of fear have you experienced? What fears are you facing now? Whether you fear failure, loss, criticism, rejection, loneliness, jealousy, or death, whatever it may be, fear is our greatest enemy in life. To grow to our fullest, we have to conquer all kinds of fears along the way. Do not let these fears paralyze you. Do not let them stop you from growing. Add God in your life and let him be your secret weapon to conquer your fears. And in everything you do, submit it to God and he will inspire you and empower you with confidence. With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Mark chapter 19 verse 62. In the next video, I will discuss how to conquer the third type of internal obstacles, complacency, on your journey of growing to your fullest. The video is from the book, Grow to Your Fullest, Chapter 6, Drive Away Fears. You can find the book on Amazon.